This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Holder. It's Jeff Cardone, and welcome you to the Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, I know it's a solemn day, but there was a sports star born on September 11th. He is Ed Reed, one of the best free safeties in NFL history. He spent his career mostly with the Baltimore Ravens. He played college football for the Miami Hurricanes when they were dominant in the 2000s. He was drafted by the Ravens in the first round of the 2002 draft and played 11 years for them before joining Houston and the Jets for 2013. He went to 9 Pro Bowls, the 2004 Defensive Player of the Year, and the NFL record for the 2 longest interception returns, 106 and 107 yards. Now you'll be thinking, wait a minute, isn't a football field just 100 yards? True, but the end zones are 10 yards each. So if you catch a ball defensively in the end zone, that end zone, right back to the other end zone, that's 110 yards specifically. He's 6th all time in regular season interceptions, and he's actually the NFL record holder for most interceptions in the class with 9. He was inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2019. So Ed Reed was a fine defensive back for the Miami Hurricanes back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and was part of the 2001 National Championship team. His memorable moment was as a senior was the win over Boston College in 2001 when he decided to grab the ball out of Matt Walter's hands, his teammate, who was a defensive lineman, and he ran it back for a touchdown. He was the Big East Defensive Player of the Year in 2001 and National Defensive Player of the Year by Football News. He set a lot of records. He actually was a Big East champion in the javelin and would be roommates with Reggie Wayne. He would graduate with a bachelor's degree in liberal arts and inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame. So the Ravens were trying to find a good safety. So they picked him in the first round, 24th overall. Roy Williams of Oklahoma was the first safety, and he went to Dallas. That wasn't a bad pick by any stretch. But anyway, Reed got a 5-year contract, and he was slated to be the starting free safety because of no Rod Woodson or Corey Harris. So he did it. He would actually start alongside fellow rookie Will Demps. So that was huge for Baltimore, having 2 rookies in the backfield. He was named to the All-Rookie team and started in all 16 games. Baltimore had some great years with Ed Reed as free safety, and he did so himself. Especially the 2004 season when he was the Defensive Player of the Year. He set the record for most interception return yards in a season, accumulating 358 return yards before it was taken over by Darren Sharper. He ran one back 106 yards. Was that against the Eagles? No, that was against someone else. Oh, it was Jeff Garcia and the Cleveland Browns. He set that record, and then he would do it again in 2008. Reed, unfortunately, the next season would have an ankle injury, which ruined him. He only played 10 games. Reed was given a 6-year, $40 million contract extension, though, after the 2005 season. And he looked pretty good. All that. Of course, he made that 107-yard interception return against Donovan McNabb. So, we've read around. The Ravens got to the AFC title game in 2009, but they lost to the Steelers. Reed, unfortunately, would have missed a lot of time in 2010 because of hip surgery. But he came back in October 2010. So, the Ravens had a lot of things going. But the problem is that there were a lot of defensive coordinators gone of the Ravens. Most of them basically were hired to play for other teams. Ed Reed was huge. And yes, he was on the Ravens team that won the Super Bowl in 2013. People thought Ed Reed was going to retire, and he tried to, but he decided to play. and all that. He was a free agent and signed a 3-year, $15 million contract with the Houston Texans. That was huge. Unfortunately, though, he would have to go through arthroscopic surgery in his hip to repair a tear. It would make its debut September 2013. Houston really didn't like the fact that Reed didn't have limited production, so they released him in November 2013. And the Jets, 2 days later, decided to pick him up. Mostly because then Reed would be with Rex Ryan when Ryan was the defensive coordinator of the Ravens. He seemed to be okay and all that. But he decided to retire. So, yeah. He played 174 games in his NFL career. Made over 600 tackles. Picked the ball off 64 times, which I said was one of the top 10 moments. He did 9 in 04 and 08, which was okay. Yardage. He holds the record for yardage with over 1,500 yards and a 107-yard touchdown. So he does have a lot of, and he's picked 9 balls off in the playoffs, which is a record. He was assistant defensive backs coach for the Buffalo Bills, which reunited him with Rex Ryan. But Reed is now the University of Miami's football team's chief of staff. I don't know what that's about. It's an advisory role to the head coach. But yeah, he's happy. He's at his alma mater, and it all matters. Hee hee. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.